What's up, you guys? Welcome back to Kill a Poet. I'm Young Toledo.
What's good? It's Colo.
And it's episode 3.
Yeah, let's go. Who we got for episode 3, bro?
Well, we got our good friend Liz. We got to sit down with her, talk to her about her poem, They Say Hello, and even got to talk about what makes a poem and even make a little mini poem in the middle. So,
awesome. Yeah, let's drop in.
Let's drop in.
Hi, so my name's Liz. I'm about to read a poem called They Say Hello. To the Salvadorian man that lives 2 houses down, I hope your daughter does not get touched by the same glance you give me. So deep, I don't remember taking my shirt off. Do you hear them? My breast shouting, hijo de tu puta madre. My body is not the aquarium of the Pacific, and my nipples aren't stingrays. To my ex-boyfriend, who I called scared because I had been followed to my car, and the first thing he said was, "What were you wearing? Fuck you," for making me feel like if something would have happened to me, it would have been justified. If I would have been raped, you would have pat him on the back. To my manager, who says, "I'm not trying to stare at your ass or anything, but you have something right there," meaning you had to fucking stare to know. I pretend I don't see you looking every 5 minutes, protecting an ass you wish you could have. I hope your fucking dick evaporates. Not that it has any more shrinking to do. To the security guard that secures nothing but the name Creepy Man on Crenshaw and that other street, I make sure I squeeze my cheeks so hard you have an awful sight. My body is not a playground. See, these are the type of men who pour milk before cereal, who say, "So when can I take you out?" when you told them to fuck off 3 times. The men who swear on their mother's grave that they have never committed sexual assault because whispering in my ear to let you fuck me repeatedly is not such thing. Convincing me we both were drunk and the length of my dress that it was okay. Saying, "Shit, I thought you wanted me to touch your boobs because you weren't wearing a bra." Bitch, you're not wearing a bra. Do you see me staring at your penis and making a face like, "Ooh, hey there, little buddy," to simply diminish your self-confidence, making you carry the weight of your self-consciousness around, and all to remind you of the intolerable pain you bear of having a small dick? I hope you go home and there's no milk, that your balls hang lower than the fake chain around your neck, and that your penis slowly rips in half like my breasts are pulled by your unnurturing callous hands. Man, I don't hate you, but if there was a huge car accident and you were the only one that died, shit, I wouldn't mind. Thank you.
Wow, Liz, thank you so much for coming on to the show today. My first question is, as usual, is like, what's your process when it comes to writing? Like, how do you just, do you need to be inspired by something? Can you just like sit and just get to writing? Like, how does it usually go down?
So, I get a thought and then I just go off of that. So something pops up in my head. I can be at Ralph's, I can be in my house, and I'm like, you know what? Let me write this down on Google Docs, or like, let me get a pen and paper and just start writing. And then if I can't complete my thought, I'll just like finish it at like 3 a.m. That's when my thoughts are the best. Wow. When it's like 2 a.m, 3 a.m, and I'm like going ham, right? Yeah. I can never do prompted, I can never do prompts, period, because I feel like it's kind of forcing me to sit down and do it.
Yeah.
So,
I definitely feel that. I have a hard time doing prompts because a lot of times when I would get like writer's block or something like that, I would probably go on Google and say poetry prompts or anything like that, just to spark anything. Yeah, I mean, it's cool because, like, as you said, you're kind of forcing yourself to like write or be in a kind of mode. Yeah. But that could also be a downside where you're kind of forcing yourself to be in a mode. But I mean, for a person that's like never written like poetry before, maybe that could be a cool place to start to figure out like if that's what you're really into.
I love the 3 a.m. thing you said. Like, that's when the best ideas come through, and like, or like in the morning, like right when you get up. It's like,
they call that the witching hour.
Yes, I like that. Yeah. I've always, like, sometimes I get thoughts at like right when I wake up, right? That you mentioned that. I get a thought and I forget to write it down, or I'm like on the go, I gotta go to work, or I gotta go do something in the morning, and it totally never comes back. Like, I'm like, that could have been a gem. So
I feel that. I definitely feel that. There's definitely been times when like I come up with a line, and there times where I write it down. I'm like, all right, it's there, and other times like, all right, I'm just gonna try to just hold on to this.
remember it. You don't ever remember it.
It's
Bad idea every single time.
Bad idea.
Just voice memo that shit or something.
For real. Nah.
So like another question, if you're comfortable with answering this, but I love how descriptive and like very like you use a lot of adjectives to take the listener or the reader there. Was this like based on like true experiences? I would assume so. Just like being a woman. Yeah.
So definitely. So I can literally mention like, I don't know, more than 20 times that I've been catcalled this month. And it's horrible. I was just talking to my friend about it, and it's like they're undressing you with their eyeballs and they don't even know it. And it's like my mom has always taught me just to keep walking and to ignore it. And I'm like, I can't personally do that. I no, I'm gonna call you out, and I'm gonna make you feel uncomfortable. And some people can't do that, and I know it's risky sometimes. I have to be careful. But I don't like being silenced. I don't think that we should be silenced, or we should be treated like sex objects just to make your dick rise. I'm sorry. Like, it's...
I mean, like, growing up as a guy, I mean, most guys don't usually walk around even, like, really thinking about that. I feel like, you're just... I'm just outside walking, but with as like a woman, you have to develop like all these different sorts of like senses, like you have to be able to. I can feel those eyes over there, I know someone's looking at me. And they might be trying to be sneaky about it, but like
I think the worst is when they have kids, when they have little girls, and when they're with their wives. I'm like, dude, first of all, that's disrespectful, and second of all, your little girls are gonna grow up just to have a body like mine or similar, So it's like, do you want the same thing to happen to your daughters? And that's why, like, one of the lines I think says, I hope your daughter does not get the same glances I do, or something like that, right? And it's like, I don't wish that upon anyone.
No, absolutely.
But yeah, so that's a little bit about it.
So I mean, with the ability to capture those life experiences and put them into words, who do you really read for inspiration? So when you're able to try to get these out, it comes out kind of like that,
Right. So some of my favorite poets are, him, Rudy Francisco, Melissa Oliva, shoot.
I want to say I know of him. I don't know him, but there was that one time when we went to an open mic. Remember at that? It was the Definitive Soapbox.
Oh, he was there.
And the man just pulled up, and it was crazy because a friend of mine in college, like. He gave me a poetry book just out of nowhere, and it was by Rudy Francisco. Never heard of him. He sent me some of those videos. I'm like, okay, this guy's he's kind of cool. I put the book on and then we're at the open mic, and he pulled up, and I remember when the person read his name, I was just like, wait, that sounds familiar. And I don't know about you guys, but I felt like the energy in the room was like, it was kind of like, it was like, whoa. I was like, whoa, this dude. Yeah, and he just pulled up. Rudy Francisco, super dope guy.
He is, if y'all need to listen to some poetry, go to him. Absolutely. There's a couple other artists. What was that other guy that performed at the open mic? His last name was Hill. Jamal Hill. I don't know if you've heard of him. He also performed. I think he was left early. He was good. Yeah. He was good. But I think those are a couple of them. Dave Harris, the poetry. Oh my God. Yeah, the poet.
Liz pulled up with this book, bro.
Yeah, he's super dope. He's mad talented. Yeah, so those are a couple of the plugs. I know, right? Those are a couple of poets that kind of inspire me, and just I'm more of a I like to see them perform just because I kind of get an idea of how they perform, and like
Stage presence.
yeah, if I can like mimic that or kind of take something from them. And I'm like, it seems more genuine too when you see them perform and when you see them live.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's
Do you
That's
think?
it.
Do you think where you write matters? Like.
I think so. Yeah, so I'm usually, like I said, it has to be at that certain time where it's like super late, but I'm usually in my bedroom, and it has to be I have to be alone, and it has to be super quiet because I wait till everybody falls asleep.
Oh, wow.
And there's a lot that goes on in my household, so and we have nieces and all that stuff, so they're running around, they're like, what are you doing? They're all up in my business, right? So I can't breathe. So yeah, it's usually when it's super quiet, somewhere where I feel comfortable. I sometimes go to the beach and
nice.
pull up like my blanket and just snacks and start writing.
Nice snacks.
Somewhere where I feel safe.
I would forget snacks instantly.
That is so many times
Like there's been I've tried to go to the beach and just like chill and sit, but oftentimes I can't.
Damn, I need to head back.
No, exactly. I have to head back. There's a lot of sand. Like I'm in Converse.
No blanket.
I'm just like, I didn't really plan this out. Like, and I've done this multiple times. So the fact that you had the blanket and snacks, like I would not have brought snacks. That's wow. Yeah, that's bars. Okay. A fool. Anyway. Well, so I mean, I guess to that point where you're writing at night and everything, do you write often? Or is it like sporadic?
So I tried to do it like every 2 weeks.
Okay.
And try to do it like every Friday. I think it was Friday or Thursday or something like that. I
Damn,
tried to
so
do
it's,
it on a
like,
day.
scheduled out.
Yeah, I tried to do that because I heard one of the poets say at an open mic that that's what worked for him. And so I was like, fuck it, like I'll try too. It did not work for me.
You said
No.
you found more success kind of just like writing whenever you feel inspired.
Yeah, going with the flow, whatever, like me doing everyday shit, and whatever pops up, like I'll write about it. Or whenever I'm feeling vulnerable or upset, that's usually when I'm writing. So yeah, I think I talked to you about like me having an issue with writing a happy poem because I don't write when I'm happy. Like I'm just happy. I'm living in the
living life.
moment. So I write when I'm like mad or like like I hate men, Sorry. But yeah, so I just vibe it out.
Yeah. No, that makes a lot of sense. So I don't know. One problem that I had before was I felt like I can only write when like something was happening, and I guess putting myself in a position where I just force myself to write. Sometimes like I remember I think it was I think it might have been last year during National Poetry Month. I believe it's like April.
Yeah.
I was trying to write like every single day. I wrote only like 6 poems. Yeah, no, yeah. I was struggling. There were parts where I was just like.
But you did it for 6 days. I don't think I could do it for 3 days.
Wait, is there like a you know what I'm saying, a threshold to be like, this is now a poem? Like, could you just write like 3 lines or something?
You could.
Oh, yeah.
You could. But
So you could've
also
been like,
I'm too self-critical.
ice cream.
Right? No, exactly. I like ice cream, blue skies, and then. Boom.
Wait, what's yours? What's your line? In the sand. We just made a fucking poem,
That's
y'all.
it. Wow. It's that easy. Even you can do
it.
We can all write
this is an
poetry.
ad?
Yeah, this is an ad for poetry, which I mean is the point of the whole show. That's that's what we're doing. Okay, let's see what else we got here.
I feel like the poem you just shared with us can like kind of inspire a lot of people, a lot of women to be like, because it's super powerful and all that. Do you feel like you write for others to hear you, or do you write like for yourself?
I think both. I think that there was a message behind it, and it kind of centers rape culture and just it's so pervasive, and it has hurt so many women. Like, I think it's right now, I think it's it used to be 1 in 5 women get sexually assaulted in college, but now it's 1 in 4. So the fact that we can be in a room of 30 women and like, you know, this person, and your sister, your mom, like, it could have happened to anybody. So yeah, I just am just so hurt about it, and I know so many people that have been sexually assaulted,
Totally.
coerced, groped, like all that stuff. And so yeah, I do like sharing it. I do like seeing the reactions in the audience, and then being like, oh shit, and people coming up to me after, people coming up to me like, damn, that was super brave of you. Or I've even had like women come up to me like, dude, like I went through this like last year, and like it was my uncle, and like it's and it breaks my heart, but it's also like I'm in a sense giving light to their stories that have not been heard.
No, exactly,
you know?
exactly. No, that's gotta get some snaps for that. Let's see, where are we at with it right now? Hey, what's up, you guys? We're gonna take a quick break from Liz's interview just to show you guys a snippet of a conversation that we had with our boy Jay that's gonna be posted on our Patreon. He's gonna be dropping a book called Lessons on Repeat either today, 11/20, or yesterday, depending on when this episode comes out. And let's take a listen to it. And sometimes staring at the wall, you know, you're not really staring at the wall. You're like staring through the wall.
Nice, exactly.
Staring through the wall and looking at the reflection of who you are, yourself.
That's fact. You look into your brain, like, bruh, get over this shit.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't know. I've tried journaling before, and it's just pouring out your emotions, your feelings, your thoughts, everything just on paper. But there's something about writing it in a way where I don't want to say it has floaties on it, where when you're in this.
I like that though.
Yeah,
run with the metaphor.
Yeah. No, you're in this ocean, this sea of like feelings and emotions, but you're able to read something that allows you to float. You know, it's through all of that. Instead of when I was journaling, I felt like I wasn't really floating. I just felt like I was just like, I'm drowning in these feelings, you know, let me get all this out, and I'm just, you know.
So do you get it all out in that moment while you're staring through the ceiling, or do you like, do you come back to it and think, damn, I could rework this, or maybe I didn't really feel this way, I was just mad, or like, or does it evolve over time, or do you like just regurgitate in that moment?
I wish I was that dope. I've never written a poem and that shit was like, oh, this shit's done. Never. I'm like, oh shit, I'm gonna come back to you later. Mm-hmm. Or I like take a bunch of poems and like kind of mash them together.
Right.
It takes a lot of work. I ain't gonna lie. Like I've rewritten poems for like the one I just did.
Mm-hmm.
I've rewritten that like 10 times. Yeah,
really?
It took a lot of effort.
You have like 10 different versions?
Yeah,
I got like the one that you put out is like your favorite one though, for sure?
Nah, definitely.
So I have that problem where it's like I have 10, or like not 10, but like a few different versions of songs. It's just like I don't know which one's actually the best one. You know what I'm saying? I feel like with creatives, it's like it's difficult to pinpoint like what it is that like people are gonna resonate with. You know what I'm saying?
No, I feel that. Like, but for me, it's like I gotta impress myself. So whichever one hits me harder, I'm like, oh, that's the shit. I'm like, it gotta be witty, but not like too much going on. It's like, all right, you want to be too smart, so no one gets it. Like, nah, I want you to get it. Like, I want you to get it. It's not supposed to be like a puzzle. It's like, yeah, you think harder, it's like, oh yeah, I get it even more.
I want to say like definitely. There we go, saying like again.
Siblings, man.
Hey, go ahead. And just be more poetic.
Sometimes say is metaphors.
One thing. Sometimes say is. Switch the gear to metaphors from symbols. Boom, poetry. One thing that I notice when I catch myself in writer's block is metaphor. I find myself trying to write too hard, if that makes sense. Like that idea of trying to be too complicated, or you're trying to craft pictures that are way too convoluted, that honestly, if you were to read them and you were to perform them to people, that they would just be sitting there thinking like, wow, I'm thinking really hard and I don't know if I got this. You know, and that's always I don't want to say easy trap to fall into, but when you're trying to write something that you might think is very, very, very cool, you might find yourself, and I guess that makes sense why you would have 10 different versions of that, because I'm assuming that maybe first iterations were probably just too like Andre 3000 said this on a James Blake song, talking about heady verses. I don't know if that's what he meant, but like verses that are too. It takes too much time to bake in your brain, you know. And I'm assuming that's like your first iterations. That's how that's kind of.
Nah, complete opposite. I write this shit as dumb as possible. Like, I need it to make perfect sense dumb. I'm like, if this shit doesn't make sense on the read through, I'm like, okay, he went here, he did this, and then he was sad, and then he went to sleep. Bad. Now let's make this shit sound poetic. So I go line by line. I'm like, all right, make this shit sound cooler. It's lame. Metaphor.
But you do it for
Big
you,
metaphor.
though.
Hell yeah. Because I watch a lot of battle rap, which you wouldn't think influenced me a lot, but it does. I'm like, oh, their fucking pens are amazing.
Yeah.
All they write is
definitely.
complex shit.
Definitely.
I was
Yeah.
like, I want my poetry to be complex as fuck. But then I fucked up and started writing like battle poetry.
Oh,
And it's just,
God. No,
yeah. I took the
I'm
piece
dead.
and I had peace and I was like, peace, and I was like, take some more pieces. And that's that piece, y'all. That's what you say when you're done with a poem. And I was like, nah, that shit's stupid.
That's fine.
Like, it sound cool in a battle, but when you doing poetry, it's like, nah, we don't fuck with that.
Yeah, the open mic.
Like, say something that means something to us. So I took that and was like, all right, I'm gonna make it make sense to me and everybody else.
So, my last question for you.
I swear to God, if you pick number 3.
I know. Nah, I mean, just because you said that, like, I really
No.
wanna ask you that, I know.
I
But
don't know.
if I were to ask you number 3, like, you are allowed to interpret it any way that you want. You know, there is no wrong answer because it's just your answer. Okay. Are you ready?
I'm ready.
All right.
I feel like I'm having a kid.
I know. You can do it. Take
No,
your
no, no.
deep breaths. You know. Where do you see your poetry taking you?
Okay, so the context, I told him not to pick this question. So if y'all have him on Instagram, unfollow him for me. I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding. It has always taken me to a very safe place. And it makes me feel like my voice is actually heard. Like I said, I don't like feeling silenced because we've been silenced for years now, decades. And so it gives me a platform to share my ideas and my thoughts. Yeah.
No,
That's it.
That's fire. No, and that makes a lot of sense because especially, you know, when you're articulating all those things in, you know, a poem, like a poem form, you're performing it, you know, everyone is listening.
Yeah.
Because, you know, they gotta listen. And then especially when you craft it in a nice little box for them to receive it in. Yeah.
Like,
just-
oh, shoot.
They're just like, damn. You know?
I like
So-
this gift.
Yeah, no, exactly. See, that was an amazing answer. Like,
Okay,
what?
thanks.
That was fire.
I was sweating, y'all.
Liz, thank you so much for coming on. Of
course, yeah.
This was
Thank you
awesome.
guys.
No, absolutely, and you're always welcome. You know?
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you guys for having me.
Yeah, where can people find you? Do you have anything to like plug or?
Follow me on Instagram. So it's Gucci with 3 C's, and Wait, Gucci Liz
Yeah.
with 2 eyes.
There you go. All right. Nice.
Yeah,
Very fire.
that's it.
Put it in the bio. All right.
Thank you.
Oh yeah.
Thank you guys.
Man, that's it.
Ah!
That was fire.
You got that.